Assalamualaikum and good morning, Doctor. My name is Hajar Ashikin. So today I will be presenting about value-based and ethical leadership, which is our topic in chapter 9. So firstly, ethical leadership refers to leadership that is based on honesty, fairness, trustworthiness, and altruism. The main idea of ethical leadership is that leaders not only behave ethically themselves but also influence others to act ethically. In an industrial setting, ethical leaders establish standards that shape organizational culture. For example, a manager who refuses bribes and promotes transparency in procurement demonstrates ethical leadership. Today, leaders can also communicate ethical guidelines through digital platforms such as emails, internet, and social media. So, another important aspect of ethical leadership is personal integrity. Integrity means consistency between a leader's values and action. Leaders with integrity are honest, keep their promise, admit mistakes, and avoid manipulation. This is important because integrity helps build trust among employees and stakeholders. For example, a project leader who openly admits a design flaw and takes action to correct it demonstrates integrity. In digital workplace, transparent reporting through dashboards and project updates can also show integrity in action. However, ethical leadership is not always easy to assess. Leaders often face ethical dilemmas when promoting risky strategies. Encouraging followers to change their values or making decisions that benefit some people while negatively affecting others. For example, a CEO may have to decide between laying off employees to reduce costs or protecting jobs despite financial challenges. In such situations, leaders must balance risk, innovation, and fairness. Digital communication tools such as virtual meetings and online forums can help leaders explain this difficult. Ethical leaders also need to balance the interests of multiple stakeholders, including employees, shareholders, customers, and the community. The challenge is that not single decision can satisfy everyone. For example, a technology company may need to balance profit objectives with protecting user privacy. To make ethical decisions, leaders can gather feedback through surveys, virtual town halls, and stakeholders engagement platforms.
Good morning, Doctor and everyone. My name is Lee Wei Bin. I will present the determine and consequence of the ethical leadership. First is the individual determine of ethical leadership. Most of the trends relate to the effective leadership are also related to the ethical leadership. Ethical leadership begins with their leaders' personal quality and the value. Leaders who propose the positive traits are most likely to behave ethically and in future the others positively. The important trait for the leader is integrity to begin the honest and the consistent in action, responsibility, accept the accountability of decision, empathy, understanding and caring about the need of the other. For example, a manager who openly admits the matter and the trust all employees, friendly, deployment, ethical leadership, and early responsive for their team. Second is the situation in future on ethical leadership. Ethical individual may face the situation that affect the behavior, organizing current company policy, because and the leadership preparation can in future ethical decision making. Factors that include the organization value, company result and the policy review and the purchase system. For example, if a company review employees only sell target, some employees may be teamed to the aim that got. commercial organization, they reveals the horns and the ethical conduct, the encourage ethical behavior. Thus is the consequence of ethical and the unethical leadership. Leadership decision offered after the different stakeholder in the different way. The action of leader can have the positive and negative consequence of the employee, customer, and the shareholder. For the ethical leadership, both often among the employee increase the employee certification and the commitment, encourage the teamwork and the cooperation. For the unethical leadership increase the confidence and the trouble, damage the company reputation, reduce the organization performance. For example, a leader would portray the transparent and the friends can spread the employee theory that will a leader involve the friend or the corporation can harm the organization and its stockholder.
Next, there are 4 major theories of value-based leadership. The first is transforming leadership, which inspires followers to embrace new values and work towards a shared vision. The second is servant leadership, where leadership prioritizes the needs of their followers and build trust and loyalty. The third is spiritual leadership, which focuses on meaning, compassion, and hope while creating a purpose-driven culture. The final theory is authentic leadership, which emphasizes transparency, consistency, and self-awareness to build trust and credibility. This theory also emphasizes important values such as integrity, altruism, humility, empathy, fairness, personal growth, and empowerment. Integrity means being honest and consistent in our action. Altruism involves helping others and putting their needs first. Also, humility means being respectful and recognizing the contribution of others. Empathy involves understanding and supporting people's emotions, while fairness ensures equal treatment for everyone. Personal growth focuses on mentoring and learning opportunities, while empowerment encourages employees to participate in decision-making and work independently. In conclusion, ethical leadership is essential for building trust, promoting fairness, and creating a positive organizational culture. By practicing ethical values and leading by example, leaders can positively influence both employees and organizational success. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Ami. My name is Haidil Naim bin Kamaruddin. Now, I would like to present a comparison between ethical leadership and unethical leadership based on 5 important criteria. First, use of leader power and influence. Let's look at how leaders use their power and influence. An ethical leader use their authority to serve both their followers and the organization. Their decision focus on the greater good and long-term success of the team. In contrast, an unethical leader use power primarily to satisfy personal needs, ambitions, or career objective. Their focus is often on self-interest rather than organizational welfare. Second, handling diverse interests and integrating them. The second criteria is how leaders manage different stakeholder interests. An ethical leader attempts to balance various interests and seeks solutions that provide the greatest benefit to the organization and its stakeholder. On the other hand, an unethical leader tends to favor specific groups or coalition partners who can support their personal agenda, often ignoring the needs of others. Third, integrity of leader behavior. The third aspect is integrity. An ethical leader behave consistently with the values and principles they promote. Their action match their words, which help build trust and credibility. In comparison, an unethical leader acts according to what is most convenient for achieving personal goals, even if it contradicts their state values or organizational principles. 4. Respond to criticism and dissent. Next, we examine how leaders react to criticism and different opinions. And ethical leaders welcome constructive criticism and encourage open discussion because they believe it leads to better decision and solution. However, an unethical leader discourages, suppresses, or ignore critics and dissent, often to maintain control or protect their personal interests. 5. Development of follower skills and self-confidence. Finally, let's consider follower development. An ethical leader invests in coaching, mentoring, and training to help followers grow, improve their skills, and become more confident. In contrast, an unethical leader may intentionally de-emphasize employee development to keep followers dependent on them and maintain their own position of power. In conclusion, ethical leadership focuses on serving others, maintaining integrity, encouraging participation, and developing the followers. These behaviors contribute to a positive organizational culture and sustainable success. That's all for me. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, my name is Lee Zixing. Today I will presenting guideline for ethical leadership. Ethical leadership refers to the practice of leading with integrity, fairness, and responsibility while encouraging ethical behavior among employees and stakeholders. Ethical leaders not only make the right decisions themselves, but also influence others to act ethically. The first guideline is ways for leaders to promote ethical practice. Leaders play a critical role in shaping ethical behavior within an organization. First, they should set a clear ethical standard so employees understand what behavior are acceptable and expected. Second, leaders must lead by example. Employees often observe their leaders' action, so leaders should demonstrate honesty, integrity, and accountability in their daily work. Third, leaders should help resolve problems and conflicts fairly by considering different perspectives and making unbiased decisions. Finally, leaders must oppose unethical practice and take actions when misconduct occurs. By doing so, they create a culture of trust and responsibility. The second guideline is programmed to promote ethical behavior. Organizations can strengthen ethical behavior through formal program and policy. One important program is a code of ethics which outlines the organization's value and ethical expectation. Another is ethics training, which help employees understand how to handle ethics dilemmas in the workshop. Organizations must also implement comprehensive monitoring systems to ensure that policies and regulations are being followed. In addition, whistleblowing systems allow employees to report unethical behavior safely and confidentially. These initiatives help build a strong ethical culture where employees are encouraged to act responsibly and make ethical decisions. The third guideline is cultural value, law, and professional standard. Ethical leadership does not exist in isolation. It is infused by the culture, law, and professional standard of the society in which an organization operates. Leaders should respect cultural value and social norms while promoting fairness and inclusiveness. They may also comply with legal requirements to ensure that the organization operates responsibly and avoid legal issues. Furthermore, leaders should follow professional standards, which provide guidance on ethical conduct within specific industry and profession. Having clear ethical guidelines and strong organization support make it easier for leaders and employees to identify and oppose unethical behavior. In conclusion, ethical leadership can be achieved through three key approaches: There's promoting ethical practice, implementing programs that encourage ethical behavior, and adhering to culture's very low and professional standard. When leaders follow this guideline, they help create an organization that is trustworthy, responsible, and respected by employee, customer, and society. Thank you.